Welcome to episode 9 of the Multiboxing Podcast.
Yeah.
It's been like 2 months now, which is like absolutely crazy. Um,
Yeah.
so this week on the podcast, we've got we're going to talk about a bunch of different things. I think the theme for this week is gearing up. So we've all actually done a ton of work gearing up various different teams. We'll talk a little bit about PvP. We'll talk about time walking. And then next week we will return to our dungeon theme, and we're going to talk about Plaguefall and the other side. So I think those are actually, I mean, I don't know how you guys feel. I think those are like two of the hardest dungeons. So, like covering them in 1 week is actually going to be interesting, but it also gives me an opportunity to actually clear them because I don't think I've done them on Mythic Zero yet. Oh, I haven't cleared Plaguefall, but I've done the other one.
Plaguefall's actually ended up being kind of hard. Yeah. The other side is
Yeah.
not the other side is not too bad. It just is time consuming at the moment. And I know Toned or Lol ran into that same issue as well. The last boss just takes a while for us. But I'm sure we can optimize it, but it just takes a while.
We might have to do something crazy for it, but that's another topic for another day.
Yeah.
So in the news category, we had the weekly cache. This was the first Mythic Plus weekly cache. Was it the second one? No, it's like the third one. I'm an idiot. It's the first one I got.
Yeah, it's the third one. Yeah, I missed also the other Tyrannical too, which I'm hoping this week I can at least finish some of them. But yeah.
Yeah, it's so nice though, that like 200 eye level just for completing a Mythic 2. It's like as long as you can beat the final boss and as long as you can beat the bosses, you're probably fine. Like you can suffer through trash. Like the one dungeon I did like Necrotic Wake, and it was like a total slog with the trash because like I'm like, oh, this trash actually has mechanics I have to do.
Yeah.
And they just destroyed the crap out of me.
Yeah, it's getting kind of rough. Like where I'm sitting is I got the Mythic Cache helm, and I have a legendary helm, and I was like, oh, that sucks. Well, now I'm thinking of changing my legendary, and I got to go make sure I didn't shard it, which I probably did. Whoops.
I did that this week too. I completely forgot. I was like, oh, I'm never going to place that piece. I got the legendary, and then I made another legendary instead. And I ended up going in at the auction house and just buying like some crafted gear just to fill that slot. That was oh well.
Yeah, I haven't started like getting a legendary for my Shadow Priest. Like I'm pretty committed to only doing 2 Torghast runs a week, because I don't hate Torghast, but it just feels like a huge time sink for like not like an immediate reward.
That is an issue, and I totally agree. Is I realize they it's fun but there's no reward. But I feel like if they could incentivize some kind of reward for it for completing it, is it just at least gold or something as well, or even like cosmetic items?
We'll wait until they have like a Torghast finder, right? So you can queue for it.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah, I mean, I feel
like the little runes or whatever.
Why not just give you like a cash reward for like the highest layer you complete and just cap it at like if you clear layer 8 you get like a 200 item level or something stupid, and have it start at like 171 or something. Like it doesn't have to be a crazy good reward, but give me something,
Yeah, no, I think they'll modify it further because Torghast is fun in and of itself, but at the same time, like when you do something, you still want some kind of like dopamine effect, right? That you get something out of it.
Yeah, and there's like no achievement for clearing layer 8 either. It's like, hey, you completed the hardest layer right now. You get
nothing.
Soul Ash, the same thing you got before.
Yeah, and it's a much smaller amount of Soul Ash for every higher tier you do, which is kind of the opposite of how those usually work. Because like if you do Mythic Plus, the way
like that though.
The currency work does. Yeah. So you like the reversal?
I like the reversal because then you don't feel obligated to like push it as hard, which is really nice for a new team.
Yeah. It's scaled like crazy though in previous expansions. Like when you did the Mythic Plus, you got it in the cache. Like if you did a Mythic 9, you got like a super small amount. If you did a 10, like it skyrocketed up in the air.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that better as well because like I could just do Mythic Plus and do all of my things. I didn't have to like go into this other zone. Like honestly, Mythic Plus is probably the only thing I really do right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I feel bad. I haven't PvP'd like at all, like in BGs or arenas. I've really that's been a side effect of the way there's no PvP scaling, which I initially liked. I guess I still do. Sorry, I'm kind of like segueing off of that, but that's the only thing.
No, you're fine.
That's the only thing we're missing out on.
Let's naturally segue.
Is
I'm ready to have this conversation.
I've been doing a fair amount of PvP. It's been interesting.
Yeah. With the arenas and whatnot though, like the way that multi-boxing gears up is typically quite a bit slower than regular players, like solo players. Like we can't gear up as fast in terms of capping out at the highest levels, and it's been much harder this expansion. So with that, like when we have a team now, our team is naturally just going to be way less eye level than what we're going up against. So it's already difficult in the first place, and then it just becomes significantly harder in terms of getting blown up very easy.
Yeah, it feels like we missed the boat because, solo players are getting like eye level 220 gear.
Yes.
From their PvP cache every week, and like they're getting, conquest items along the way. And here we are getting like 200 eye level piece a week.
Yeah,
maybe.
and we're super excited for it too. We're like, yes, 200 eye level.
Yeah. So it feels bad from that perspective, but then I've kind of been keeping an eye on like the average player. Like I know how like the tryhards are. Like we'll never keep up with the tryhards.
Yeah.
At least like, but for like barrier to entry, I think like there is potentially a place for us. At like against like other people, because like most people right now, like if you're like a deadbeat WoW player, you're probably like eye level like 180 to 190, I would say.
Yeah,
hurtful. That's like all my item levels, and I play a lot.
That's actually higher
but, like,
than some of mine.
You're not a low player, so you don't reap the benefits of like drooling all over your keyboard.
Have you not seen my comp? It's called face roll. Literally.
So with that though, I mean the I think maybe in a month or so, or maybe even less than that, right? Like all the people that are like you said, the tryhards, their ratings are going to be much higher, because I think right now when you go into a lot of the matches, you're still going up against people that have really good gear, but they're at low ratings on there.
I don't think that's going to go away though, and I think that's my concern.
Okay.
Is that we're kind of like, because we're so far behind in gear, like the player power difference is huge.
Yeah.
And like then you compound that with the fact that like PvP is like very different than it used to be. It's very like 3-ret is a thing. Like you can play 3-ret and people just like, that's a thing that solo players do.
Yes.
Whereas like that would typically be a comp that's like reserved for people like us that are just going to go like see how fast we can destroy somebody.
Yeah.
So with like the proliferation of that, like you're probably not going to kill someone as quickly like 3-ret as like an organized group might, or like an organized group might like CC right before they like. I feel like they've got a little bit more playability than we do, or at least they have like some level of advantage there. So it's like our play style, like the way that we like pot shot people is now like the norm, which I don't think plays to our advantage.
Yeah, I mean, I think the crazy thing too is our biggest problem has always been melee, and now it's almost every class has a cheat death or something similar. They all have a gap closer, and they all have some type of AoE CC. The AoE CC is what's really killing us.
Oh yeah.
So before it was like, sure, you have a gap closer, I can get away from you, or you're only CCing one person. But now if we don't say spread, you're going to get all three. So you got to play melee, which is obvious. But everybody has cheat deaths, so basically you blow your wad. If you don't land a kill, it's game over.
Yeah. And meanwhile, like the enemy team has like just as good of an opportunity to get to get the kill on you. Whereas I don't think that was like as true in the past. I don't think that like because people weren't playing triple, right? You didn't have like people going in with like this stupid insane burst and just blowing one of your characters.
Yeah, everybody has really insane bursts. A lot of crazy, and on top of that too, like speaking of the cheat deaths, I mean, apparently it's not a big issue in high rated comps. Like if you go like really high. Yeah, the seed, the pod that Night Fae get, right? Like, it's literally a battle res on a 10-minute timer, but it works in arenas.
If you do 14k damage to it, it dies. But
yeah.
That's so much damage.
One team where on my druids, I convoked, killed somebody, 2 people popped up in pods, the other guy died, and then I just kept mashing Starfall, and one of them died, the other guy came out and I killed him. But on another team, it had a rogue on it, I managed to land a kill before the rogue got on me, but they went in their pod, and then the rogue just stun locked the shit out of me, and like it was like I never killed anybody.
Yeah, it's
and then your wad's blown.
Yeah, it's an interesting situation, and on top of that, like I feel like I've done more than 14k damage to it before as well, but like their healer can just keep healing though to offset the damage you're doing.
I feel like they should fix that.
And they can also.
You're saying you can heal the pod?
Oh yeah,
not only
can you heal it, you can also like if you have a paladin, they can bop it. So he basically becomes immune to melee damage.
That's so broken.
It's like, and then people are like,
my
what are
God.
you supposed to do? And like, oh yeah, that seems fair. Like it's bobbing because they're saying it's not a death res, it's a cheat death is how it's flagged, and that's why it's working in arenas. I mean,
yeah, you just shouldn't be able to heal with it. You shouldn't be able to heal it. That's
Agreed.
dumb.
Agreed. Yeah, do an extra 14k. That seems pretty fair. And then like if they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. But even then, like it's a 10-minute cooldown. Like it's if that exists, why doesn't heroism exist or something in there or bloodlust?
I didn't realize you could bop it and heal it because I did have a couple teams where I'd get them in the seed and the damn thing wouldn't die. I'm assuming the healer was healing it.
Oh yeah, that's what happened on mine. On one of them I popped it, and the druid just went completely bananas on it. He just threw on like all of his, and druids once they get their hots rolling, I mean it's a lot of heals. Like,
you're not gonna heal. You're not gonna.
No, I couldn't take it down.
So what I've been doing right now, because I don't have my pallies up yet, they're the next group, because I had to take a break from that and get my shaman, because like my Trinity group was dead in the water until I had a shaman. But I'm doing my hunters in arena. I'm getting some kills where I just hit you with 3 aim shots times 2 and you're dead.
Mm-hmm.
And some that don't. But for durability, I'm actually thinking of getting one of my buddies to play a healer, and I'm just going to go do 2s with them to cap Conquest a couple of weeks in a row to gear up all 3 in PvP gear and then go try again.
That's that technically, if you have like a specific team that you want to succeed, it seems like that might be the route to go, or the quote play. You know, like just play them solo.
Mythic Plus too. If you got like 220 weapons, like 220 bows, like you're gonna be.
Because the
if
amount
you guys were on the good team, I would heal for you and help you get your ults gear.
Well, so with that though, like, in order to get a PvP item, right? Like you only need to earn 1,250 honor per week on that team, which I think is.
You could lose your way to 1250.
Yeah, exactly. But you could also like, doesn't a win give you like 250 honor? I think
it's like 125, I believe. Because
okay.
I believe it's 10 wins.
It's 10 wins. Okay, gotcha. So yeah, so 10 wins really isn't that big of a commitment though. You know, overall, especially if you get
2s is moving quick. I can do 10 games in about an hour or less.
Yeah, and then you got that knocked out. And
what's your win rate though?
In 2s, if I'm playing with another person.
With another. I'm sorry, I thought you meant dual boxing.
I can probably do 10 games in like 15 matches. If I'm dual boxing, I haven't tried dual boxing 2s yet. I'll try that before I rope one of my friends into being my personal gear slave.
I need to see what the eye level rewards are though. I guess I should try to look that up because I only hit 1,400 rating on my druids and I got a 207 piece on my cash, which is crazy.
It might be 220 at 1,800, so I could be mistaken.
Isn't that's kind of crazy though, because you can make 1,400 rating though. Like you can lose your way to 1,400. You don't lose any rating until you hit 1,400. So you could literally lose 100 games and win 10 to get 1,400.
If you're under 1,400, it's even 200 item level.
Wow.
I hope somebody in the chat can confirm.
That's
yeah,
insane.
so I guess at that point then, right, just queue up
you
your
might
teams.
as well just cap every character.
Yeah.
You'd be stupid.
Because especially on these weeks like we have right now, which is Tyrannical, I haven't tried a Mythic Plus. I should try one. But I feel like Tyrannical is just going to be a giant wall for us.
Well, there's a catch-up mechanic too, right? Can't you like once like Conquest, once a week passes, your Conquest cap just increases.
Oh yeah, for sure. Right? Yeah, like
so
right
like
now,
you could just sit
like
there
2,000.
and just spam. Like I mean, you could just sit there and spam. But
yeah,
I mean, it'd be terrible if
it
you're losing.
At 500, and so this week, because I think it'll be week 3, I think it's 1,500 now if you haven't done anything.
I think last week was 3.
No, last week I saw my like Conquest options. I'll log in right now. It's like I think it's
I thought it was like 1,800 because there's like some extra number in there. I think it's like it was like 1,800 last week or something. But it's a lot of points,
which is kind of cool, right? It's basically what we're kind of getting at here is it's another avenue to gear up your team or to gear up your players that need it. Because Mythic Plus has been it's a little tough.
Yeah, it's interesting that like something that is both our downfall from a perspective, like because I mean, I don't know. I feel like if I go in there with 2 or 3 Shadow Priests, like I'm gonna get absolutely rolled, and it's not gonna feel good. But those couple wins I get, and then I get a piece of loot, like that would feel good. But I don't know that it would be like worth my time.
All right, so I just logged in. It's 2,200 right now. Is the Conquest you can get?
22.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's a lot.
But you've already got some, right? Or is that on a fresh character?
This is on a fresh character. Yeah. I mean, I haven't done any PvP with this guy yet.
Yeah, but like answering Zock's question about win rate in 3s, my win rate with druids is like 5 out of 20, so it's pretty rough. Um, the games I did win, I won by like a mile, and I had another game where I actually ended up 2v1ing somebody with one of my druids where I manually played it to kill them. That was pretty fun.
That's amazing. That's amazing because if it's a 1v1,
They're so
I'm
bad
like,
at
I'm
that
done.
level though.
Yeah.
Like it's so bad.
Yeah.
It feels wrong beating up on people that are that bad at the game. It's like this person's like husband just convinced them to play the game.
Yeah.
And like they are like keyboard turning and like they don't really know what's going on. And here you are like showing up and just like deleting them. Like it's just, it feels like it just shouldn't be a thing, but it is.
I mean, I literally just kited them with Moonfire around the pillar. And then when the healer went to heal him, I cycled them and then did that. And then the DPS fell over. And I was just like, okay, thanks for the points.
But so on those wins, it felt great. But on the losses, though, some of the losses feel like...
there's some losses I'm like, why did I even hit accept?
Yeah,
like,
yeah, exactly. It's like, I had no chance.
Result. Windwalker monks and rogues versus druids was almost instant loss.
Yeah.
Warriors and priests, though, if I saw a warrior, that was my kill target every time. I can blow a warrior up so quick.
Yeah, they feel pretty squishy for us. So I mean, that's one of the important things. I think that's why you're also, I think, going for the paladin team, and I'm trying to work on them to see how they'll go as well. Is like at least you can survive a little bit, right? You have a bubble.
Dude, I'm pretty sure I can kill you through bubble. If you don't have another bubble on your team, you'll be dead before my bubble's off.
Oh yeah, you're doing a lot of DPS, and then on top of that, though, like after the bubble's over, you still have defensives, and you can still, pop a bop or something after 30 seconds. Like you still have you still have more options even on top of that. Whereas the druids, like literally,
you did convoke. If you didn't win, 9 out of 10 times you lost.
Oh yeah, for sure. Because your only defensive at that point is, you can try to heal, which doesn't really seem to work too well. Or you have defense. You can use renewal, which is defensive, and then bark skin, which I think is like 20% less damage. It's basically nothing.
All of my defensives to stay alive, to get the trinket off, to hit him with Typhoon and hit Convoke. So I have nothing. When Convoke goes off, I think that's it. That's the game.
Yeah. It's literally just like that. I think you mentioned it before. It was like the nostalgia back to the EM Chain Lightning of Burning Crusade, right?
EMCL. Those were the glory days.
But at the same time though, if you blew the EMCL and TBC, like you still had an easy shot. Not an easy shot. It was still a game,
I could still double lightning. I could lightning bolt with 2 in the air and
Yeah.
the first shot when the second one hit and still one-shot people.
Yeah. And that's how the game has changed a lot more, especially for us, is it doesn't even seem realistic in a 3v3 match to have all 3 of your characters be able to even get off like a lightning bolt together and then like a chain lightning doesn't seem realistic anymore. Like to get that combo, even that. Like there's just so much CC, there's so much happening. Going on.
I mean, there was a reason I quit doing multi-box PvP when they got rid of 5v5. 3v3 is just too hard.
Yeah.
I literally only was able to do well in it one season because I had 2 Shadow Morns because I try-harded Wrath of the Lich King.
Yeah.
And so you run 2 Shadow Morns with a Paladin healer, sure, I could kill people. Ever since legendary weapons are kind of no longer a thing, 3s hasn't been a thing. I don't even bother queuing usually. I'm just doing it in Shadowlands because it seems fun.
It is,
and
yeah.
I need the gear for Mythic Plus so bad because this expansion is like gear starved.
It is.
At least this week it's kind of picked up, right? You got Time Walking, we've got PvP, we've got Mythics, we've got cash. Have you guys been getting loot out of your calling boxes? I got some random weird stuff yesterday.
I got one on my Paladin, and I think I figured it out. So you got it from the Ardenweld one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, so you'll notice the reward for some of them will be epic, and when it's epic, you're very likely to get a piece of loot, and that loot seems to kind of scale with your eye level. So, like on my 200 eye level Paladin, I got like a 184 epic, and then on another character, like in the past, I think that item level reward had been like 171 or like, some scaled. So I think it actually scales, but it's always the epic ones from what I can tell.
So I opened 5 epics so far, and I got 2 pieces of gear. My prop pally got a 187 two-hander, which I was like, all right, I actually need that for ret.
Yeah, you need that. That's an amazing item.
I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
Didn't expect it. And then one of my hunters randomly got a pair of pants. He was wearing like 184 pants, and he got 187 pants. I was like, it's an upgrade. It's nothing major, though.
It's something.
Okay, maybe my understanding of it's mistaken then, because I've only done the epic one like 2 or 3 times. I thought it always gave a piece of loot. Maybe it's that it gives at least a conduit.
Yeah, I'm gonna test it as well.
I got a conduit on everybody, so I think it was either an item or a conduit. So I did notice I got something out of all the epic ones.
Oh, I'm looking at our notes here. Actually, we were supposed to talk about PvP. I thought I completely segued off of something that wasn't even relevant.
No. PvP viability was definitely in there.
Just piled on with you because we were like, oh, you're following the agenda.
Yeah, exactly.
It's almost like we know what we're doing.
So speaking of time walking, though, so I actually was pretty happy with how time walking turned out. So this week you get an eye level 200 normal Nathria piece for doing 5 dungeons, which I think is more than it used to be. I think it used to be 4. But the dungeon tuning is like surprisingly really good.
Yeah, it was tons of fun.
Yeah, they're basically scaled to like normal Shadowlands dungeons, and the gear rewards from them are kind of like okay. I picked up like a couple replacement items here and there on like, that one green that's been like just the elusive green. But I mean, I got an eye level 200 item on my priest, and I think like in every character like picked up a 30 or 40 eye level slot upgrade, so that was like really nice.
Oh yeah, so I mean, you get 158 gear out of it, which is better than even no, actually the same as
literally normal gear.
Normal, so it's doing normal, yeah.
It's normal.
But I guess it's technically sort of easier than normal because you don't even need the gear in the first place because it scales you down to eye level 35.
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're behind the curve, this would be the time to jump into time walking to get 155. So after time walking, you can jump into heroic and go after 171.
Yeah. Agreed. Yeah. For
and there's like no mechanics on like most of these fights.
Yeah, it's Wrath of the Lich King. If you didn't play, then you're gonna have some problems with the trash. But once you see it, you'll be fine. If you played, you're gonna be like, "Oh, this is my comfort zone." It was easy.
Yeah, exactly. I feel good.
The trash is actually the hardest part, though.
Like
you were complaining
really
about Nexus. Yeah. I don't know what in there was hard, but I had other dungeons trash give me trouble.
The Nexus was the dude that was in the ice block, like the frozen area.
What are you talking about?
The 2 healers?
Yeah, because I got fear bombed and I had aggroed like 4 more guys. So it was
kill the priests. They don't fear bomb. They have like no health.
No, the main guy fear bombs.
Were you playing the druids or were you playing Trinity?
I was playing Shamans actually on that one. I was
Tremor totem, bro. Tremor totem.
I know. It's I hit the button. It didn't happen. I hit the button.
I hate that so much. Yeah, so I did time walking on 5 druids so far. And I just stealthed through all the trash.
That's so low. It's so good.
It was so it feels so good. I haven't even started on the Trinity yet. I'll probably do that maybe tonight.
So I did the stealth thing today. So I did the stealth thing on the druids for Torghast. Yeah, it was a little bit earlier than that, before like
it was this afternoon. I think we were talking about it.
Or like I think like 5. Anyways, doesn't matter the time. I did the stealth through Torghast and it was great. Because you miss out on all the anima powers, but I mean, I literally did the Torghast in like 10 minutes. It was so nice. As opposed to like
lower layers, you don't need anima power. Just convoke.
No, exactly. And you sort of get some, right? You get the good ones because you have to kill the boss at every single one, and so you still naturally get some in the process. But it made that process way easier. That was way more enjoyable.
Honestly, I didn't think I would like druids as much as I do. They just feel so good because I can go stealth and do whatever I want, right? When I'm doing non-mythic plus, like mythic zeros, I can snipe all of the bosses. Like I think I can do all 8 mythics in the time I can do 4 on my Trinity.
Oh yeah. But so I mean, at some point though, that it comes to a closure, like when you need to get higher than that. Like my druids are basically about average eye level, like 185, so they've kind of capped out on the mythics, and now they're forced to do the trash if they want to do anything more, like on mythic plus. And that's where I had a big like wake up call going, oh my god, like some of these packs are really hard for druids, in terms of like the damage intake and healing. I actually have to use defensives and things like that.
Yeah, so like on Mist, for example, that's one where you want to go slow and steady through all the trash as druids, so then you can stealth past all the stupid bugs at the end.
That's a really good I saw you mention that in Discord, and I didn't think about that at all. That because the ending is way harder, so it makes total sense to do a bunch of the trash in the beginning. That's easy.
I literally killed everything, got to the end. I had to kill 1 bug pack, and I was so happy.
I wonder.
What was that?
I was just gonna say, I wonder if you could use a Demon Hunter tank and just like creep all the way to like just grab every single bug in the instance, bring them to your druids, just like kite like crazy, because that's what demon hunters do, and then just convoke spirits and just destroy all of them. I feel like it wouldn't work though, right? It's target capped.
There's a couple of things that I think would catch you, because it's funny you mentioned that. I tried to do exactly what you just mentioned, but with a different team. Because I'm getting to the point where I can beat up Mythic Zero pretty easy, but you have to be spread out because they drop the acid on you that does AoE damage, but then there's that stupid knockback. So when I got there and I started killing them, I started exploding and going all over the place, and there were so many of them dropping that like they would pop 3 times and I'd go across the freaking thing off the side anyways, even though I pulled all the way back to the waterfall. And then they just did a shitload of damage and killed me too. There's that too.
Yeah, their knockback is like a mega knockback.
Well, and it's almost like the physics engine gets acceleration. So like if you're strafing left when it goes off,
yep,
not only it explodes you left faster than you expect. And so if you don't get away, it's almost worse. You're almost better off standing still and hoping you go straight up.
The hitbox too, by the way, is like massive. It feels
it's like 30 yards. It feels like.
Yeah. So yeah, those I agree. If you can dodge those at all, that's kind of like the method there too. At
least on Trinity we got like traps and hex and stuff. Right?
Oh yeah, you can solo them down. Yeah. Or I'm trying to figure out like if a lot of my comps now, I guess 3 out of the 4 are Venthyr. So I'm wondering if I could use like Door of Shadows, which can I kind of teleport, if I could just like somehow teleport past to skip them.
It would be awesome if you could go to that far right side and teleport from the main island to the little island and just do that one pack. Yeah,
and just go through there. Yeah, there's got to be some kind of movement option there, hopefully. But I don't know, we'll see. But Mist for us though is turning into being like probably not a timeable key. With the different there's a lot of things that cause us to go slower. Like also between getting to boss 2 to getting to the guessing game, like when you're doing the trash, you don't have time to figure out which next like door frame to go through. So you typically do it.
I was actually running my shaman to the thing so I could see the icons while I was killing the things.
Okay. Are you moving the healer around then while you're looking at it? Or while you're doing
or I'll like strategically strafe my group over so I can see what it is and then strafe over to the other one while I'm doing DPS.
Like anything to save time, because otherwise that just becomes a giant time sink.
And then I've named them like transparent leaf, nipple leaf. That's the one with the ring on it. It makes it easy to remember, and then I just kind of run through it.
Yeah. As long as you have a naming scheme.
I stole your strategy if I mark her, so when she runs through, I can usually pick up 3 or 4 where I already know where they are based off the path she's running.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's 100%, but I'm actually able to do miss in time, assuming I don't wipe on the last guy. I get 1 attempt on the last guy to key it in time.
Yeah, because you have to blow lust and everything too. Last guy is tough.
With the Trinity setup, I think I've got the freeze tag all figured out. It's pretty easy for me. But the last guy sucks. I barely killed it.
Yeah, he's no. I think we already went over Mist, didn't we, or no? Did we talk about Mist already?
I think we already talked about it.
I think.
Yeah. It was like I think that was in the first week when we talked about Necrotic Wake as well.
Yeah.
But I feel like from what I'm seeing in your Discord, and I mean I started streaming again a little bit, but people that I'm talking to, either through your chat, people that drop by and say hi to me, or Discord, the general theme is I think everybody's at least at the point where they're starting to mess around with Mythic. I know Midas and a couple others just got 2 pluses down for the first time. So people are starting to, snipe out Halls of Atonement, and I'm thinking, SD, Sanguine Depths, or whatever, that one's not bad either. I think go work on those too.
It's not bad.
I hate it so much. I hate that trash on the way to the last boss.
You got a world first achievement in there, Zoc. You're the only person to ever kill Call.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
Yeah. No, I hate that trash though. Like that trash on leading to the last boss is absolutely garbage.
The last boss trash is straight up AIDS. That's the nice way of saying it.
Yeah, so there's 2 ways to do that, right? Either you take out, I guess I don't know how regular players do it, but either you can focus down Call first on the trash, or do the trash to mitigate the damage intake.
Well, we're talking about the pack before the gauntlet.
No, I'm talking about the whole gauntlet. But yeah, that first pack of the gauntlet is brutal.
Yeah.
Like I just always blow up call. Like that's my strategy. Just blow up call
Just
because
so he gets out of the
because
situation.
that way if I wipe, at least call is like progressed.
Well, most of the ads during the gauntlet phase are non-elite anyway, so I just focus on her and multi-shot off her, and then the little guys just die.
Yeah.
See, your team has this thing called AoE, which is really nice.
Oh yeah, I forgot you got priests.
I want to hear about those priests, by the way.
So it's like the DPS is really strong, and it certainly has playability, but I think it's really like that team that you have to like have everything set up perfectly on.
Yeah.
And you can't make mistakes. Like if you make mistakes, you're gonna wipe, and that's just like the reality of kind of how squishy they are. So I think compared to like a druid or a shaman, they're probably more difficult to play, but I also think they're like fun. So
that's the most important name of the game.
It's not going to be like what I've realized is like this is not a pushing team. Like this is not a team where I'm going to do 10 mythic plus in a week because I would just lose my mind. Like this is a team that like is definitely going on maintenance mode where I'm going to do like my 1 mythic plus a week, and maybe 1 week I'll decide to do like 4 or try to push a little bit, or have accumulated so much gear that I want to like push more. But like it's also that team where like I just get frustrated and can't play it for 3 days because it's just like, why am I doing this? So
why am I making it harder?
I almost broke a keyboard because of my priest healer, so I could only imagine having 4 of them.
4 of them going on.
Yeah. No, I mean they're super squishy, and I mean, but they're fun. I mean, it's definitely fun, but you also like almost need to blow. You just need to blow everything up, and you have to have everything timed because if you don't, DPS perfectly,
talent that lets you do a shitload of damage, but you kill it.
So I think my challenge with using Madness is that I don't know the dungeons well enough and I don't know the encounters well enough. And I think the patty cake boss in Miss is actually a perfect example of like where that talent gets like no play. Like because she's gonna patty cake at 10%, or not patty cake, she's gonna guessing game at 10%. Yeah. So the play would be to figure out at what point can you pop Surrender to Madness and avoid the third guessing game.
But it's interesting how that works, right? Because technically, can you pop it though and just kill one of the ads, or like the wolf thing, and it doesn't count as killing you?
Yeah, but then it goes on cooldown for 1.5 minutes.
Yeah, but I mean, like hypothetically, you could still utilize the DPS gain from it, though, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure if it wears off after you kill the thing or not.
Yeah.
I think it's target based. So I mean, I think that's how you would use it on trash. Because with the 1.5 minute cooldown, you're just going to use it on every trash pull and not care. Or at least like every other one. And then like when you get a pull or 2 away from the boss, don't use it. And trash is like not a big deal because stuff dies within 20 seconds. Like it's really not a problem. The problem starts to come into play when you get on these boss fights and you can't anticipate how long it's going to take you to kill the boss because you might have to deal with ads, or there might be a mechanic that kind of interrupts that flow.
I saw Wootenblad's.
2 to 3 minutes seems to be average, unless you're talking about the last guy on the other side. Then it's like 8 to 9 minutes.
Yeah, I saw Wootenblad's linked in Discord about the that time to death.
Time to die. Yeah, so I actually used to use that. Like it used to be an add-on back in like Mists of Pandaria, and when I was raiding at like the cutting edge level, like I would use that all the time to like line up cooldowns because I knew if we were going to kill the boss within like 2.5 minutes, then once it hit execute, we were actually going to kill it in about 2 minutes. And I should pop my 2-minute cooldowns like now.
Gotcha.
Or I like wouldn't get another opportunity to use my 2-minute cooldowns. So maybe I should hold them for like another 30 seconds because like XYZ mechanic was happening. Yeah. So I think Surrender to Madness is going to be like really good. I think there's a ton of playability there. But the problem is that I just don't know the fights well right now.
Because I feel like if you had the Power Infusion legendaries, and you do Madness, and you do Drums, that is so much damage.
I think I would hit haste cap. So, like, that's a thing, too.
There is no haste cap.
There's no haste cap.
Have too much haste.
No, it has diminishing returns.
Yeah, okay.
It's
still
the
point, right?
It's still amazing, because in Torghast, I get, like, I've gotten it with the stars aligned on one of my shamans, and I get, like, 75% haste heroism, and it's glorious.
I am what it's worth, I am planning on building that legendary first. Torghast was not good to me last week, and so I've got to push a little bit harder on that. And also, I think I'm going to wait for LFR to come out to unlock the legendaries, because for priests they're all in Nathria, and I don't feel like wasting the time to pug normal Nathria.
there's some quests this week too to give Soul Ash as well.
Yeah, I should
Yeah.
probably do
there.
those.
But it's still doing Torghast, but it's like a super easy version. It's like a layer 1 Torghast basically.
So like, what's the drop rate on the memories in Mythics?
I think they're. Well, are you talking about Mythic Dungeons or for raids?
I'm talking about dungeons because I know raids are 100%.
I'm not sure.
I'm
That
not
seems
sure.
high though.
Yeah, they seem high. Yeah, and on world bosses, I want to say are 100%.
Get this stupid memory off the mist, so I don't have the tar trap for my hunters. I sit there and just chain kill it.
You know, hunters were doing that. Like somebody did it like 80 times on normal, like the first week, and like never saw it. Like
It's insane to me. Like I'm literally solo queuing that kill it, reset, kill it, reset. I can't get
every other hunter, man. Like it's bad. Yeah.
I've done it on heroic, I've done it on mythic, I've done it on normal. I've cried myself to sleep. Didn't want.
So I've used that tar trap, by the way. I don't think I'm doing it efficiently, but if you line it up, and it's going to definitely be a definitely skill ability for us to like utilize perfectly, but it does a lot of damage.
I mean, that's part of why I'm
probably
going to go marks, right? Because until I get that legendary, I've got an artificial cap on the beast mastery. It's working, but I'm trying to get to 4+ next week. Because I'm definitely going to do a tyrannical 2+ this week before I call it a week. Because I just have to, right? Otherwise, there's no progress.
What do you think? What do you think is the doable ones this week? Then, like that, to just like not even time it. I'm guessing halls, right?
I think halls is the if you can't time it and you need something, go to halls.
Yeah.
Because none of the fights are really that hard. They don't really have enrage mechanics.
Right.
The other one is Sanguine Depths. As much as a lot hates that one.
The second boss is a little. I guess I'd be interested. I need to see somebody else's tactics because the second boss, I really don't even have like a strat for him yet.
I agree. That one, you're probably right. He's a 50-50 if I kill him, I'll be honest with you.
So here's how you do. I learned this playing solo. So there's very little I like about Sanguine Depths, but we're talking about the boss with the orbs, right? That's the second boss?
No,
or is that the
big guy? It's the one with the castigate.
Sends the stupid things up and down the hallway that hit you with a curse.
Yeah, it's a big yeah.
Yeah, that's the second boss, right?
Yeah, with the blood pools in the ground.
Yeah. So here's what you do. The first one I think always goes to the outside. The second that goes to the outside, you move to the outside. And then you're going to notice the orb come from the inside. And so when that happens, you're going to move to the inside. You basically just follow the last orb. And then when an ad spawns, that ad is like super priority.
Yeah, so the issue though is for when you're boxing it though is that he puts castigate or whatever on one of your characters.
Yeah, you have to spread out.
And you have to spread for that.
Yeah.
And the spread the radius is actually kind of big too. Like
it is big.
Yeah.
So because I have the shaman healer, what I've been doing is I put somehow we're back in dungeons, but I put 2 guys on the left, 2 guys on the right, and then I tank it. And so I'm always getting hit by 2 orbs, and then I just cleanse one of them. And I honestly just try to burst my way through it. So it's about a 50-50 if I kill it. With Tyrannical, it's probably going to be pretty rough. I didn't even think about that guy.
Yeah, for Shamans, I would probably for Castigate, because I don't know what the uptime is on Castigate, but I don't think it's particularly high. I would probably just cool down through them. I probably wouldn't bother trying to like move or spread, because like the orb damage is so high, and staying out of that would be good. So like you could totem one and you could turtle another. I don't know what you do after that, but
yeah, it's hard to like. It's
I'm not trying to diminish the difficulty. I'm just thinking through it.
Yeah, like the little castigate, I don't think you can cool down through it. Is what I'm trying to get at. It hurts.
Yeah, because I think with Tyrannical, the boss fights do like 15% more damage too, right? It's like 40% more hit points.
The damage is gonna do more.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, kind of wrapping up this section we were talking about, it's like everybody in Discord's starting to catch up where they're doing mythics and stuff. So we're trying to just get the word out. Like, here's all these different avenues of ways to gear yourself.
Yes.
You got PvP, you got time walking, you've got some of the callings, and you've got make sure you 2+. Who cares if you even do it through time? You just got to get that stupid cash. It just matters too much right now.
Yeah, and if you can't do that, then I mean, obviously, we were talking about the PvP route too. You know, just win your way through like a couple threes. All you need to do is earn 1,250 honor to be eligible to get a piece of loot.
Did you guys see speaking of loot, one thing I didn't think to add in here. So there's also Time Walking Old War. And
yeah, I saw that in Discord. I'm just hoping you figured that out.
I didn't. I'm still trying to figure out what it means by scaling 1 to 30 players. I know you have to physically go to the instance, which isn't challenging. But I level 200 rewards for doing it.
So everybody gets a 200 for doing it?
No, like boss loot drops
They're
200
dropping
items.
at level 200 items.
I wonder how hard that is, though, right? Is it? Are you scaled down for it?
I believe you're going to be by level 35.
It's time walking, so I think you get scaled down.
I don't even know if I've ever done that dungeon before, like in terms of like as current.
Oh, it's like one of my favorite raids of all time.
But it's long, right?
Fun. Tons of fun.
Old War is like so sick.
But I mean, like for duration though, like if say like it's like a several hour dungeon though, right?
Yeah, if you've never been in there, you're probably gonna be there all night.
Okay.
So there's a question in chat. Yes, if you do the time walking 5 dungeons, you get an item level 200 normal raid item. So definitely go do it. Yeah. All of your characters will get an item level 200 item.
Right. So it's 5 dungeons. I think, kind of being realistic though, depending on it really varies of what dungeons you get. But just assume each dungeon is going to take like 20 to 30 minutes, right? Hopefully. So
it's about what mine took. Yeah.
In the worst case,
or slam them all out in a single night on a weekend.
So 2.5 hour effort to get every single character a 200 level item, which is pretty massive, especially when you're talking about Mythic Plus being a little tough for us.
It's massive right now, and it'll be massive for new teams in the future. But like probably a month or 2 from now, when this rolls around again, probably not going to do it on my main team.
What if they scale it up to 213? Oh my god.
Nah.
They probably won't, but they might like scale it to heroic in the future. Because in BFA it was like that. I think it gave like heroic level rewards, but the dungeon was also a heroic dungeon, so it was like pretty difficult for the most part.
Yeah.
So, in the sake of time, do you want to do previous week and next week one shot each person?
Sure. Yeah, I know. We could just talk all night. I think that's the problem.
That's the problem. Like I can just hang out with you guys. Like,
which is really nice. I know. Like we literally hang out all day in Discord. And then like, all right, well, let's just do it live for an hour. And then like, all right, then we go back to like.
For people who don't know, this is basically what we do all day, just without cameras on.
Yeah, it's just theory crafting, which is fun though, right? Like, and I just get a little glimpse of it, yeah. But I mean,
I feel like people are gonna watch the podcast and it's just gonna be a jumbled mess of random thoughts.
But it's not like at the same time, it's not like an exclusive thing too. Like, constantly look in the Discord too, like in terms of.
I'd love for more people to talk to.
Yeah, and just like I love the theory crafting and just pushing it. And I think that's basically what like we're kind of honing in on. It's like this is like the best part of multiboxing. I feel like.
Well, it's a new expansion, so we're like doing crosswords Olympic style. It's a team sport.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's do.
All right, so one shot, Toned, go.
All right, so we're gonna start. First off, we're gonna go with the wall. I think I'm gonna finally drop the Toned. Sorry, dualboxing.com. But I'm not going to do it because I got to leave my purple title. But so this week, since we talked last, my Shaman's now 60, which was, I'm glad I spent a week derailing progress because the priest was working just not well. Whereas the Shaman, the first night, because when I was leveling him up, I ran him with the Hunters to Gear Share. He dinged 60 and his item level was already like 158. So then I went and took him straight into 2 mythics the first night he was 60. I killed HOA, so Halls of Atonement 2+, when he had been 60 for about a half hour. And so that was really nice. And then this week, I went straight through on a single sitting on stream. I did 4 out of the 8 mythics. I think that was last night. So tonight I'll probably do the other 4. And I don't know. Shaman pretty much is carrying the team now. It was a good switch, and I don't even have him DPSing, as Zach pointed out that I'm a nub, but I'm trying to save mana, bro. So I'm going to try to probably figure that out next week and focus on getting legendaries for my Trinity group. And then on the other teams, like my Druids they're solid. They don't have legendaries yet. And then my Paladin group, I'm working on them because that's kind of my Tide and True group that I've used every expansion. So I'm going to try to focus getting them up for PvP, and that's kind of what I'm going to focus on the next week.
Nice. The strat, by the way, for the Shamans, I think maybe I've almost thought about doing less DPS on the shaman and healing more. I've had a lot of situations where my guy is doing. I can see my shaman throwing up a lava burst. I'm like, no, I need you to heal. Like, heal my guy. Don't do that. So it's a give and take.
I have 0 DPS in my shaman setup right now. Like literally none. He doesn't even show up on the damage meter.
That's not. Yeah. So like that might be actually for pushing it even further. It might be the play. I don't know. I've always.
But I feel like if I had 3 keys, right? One is single target DPS without the shaman, he's healing only. One is AoE healing and AoE damage, and then one is, I guess, shaman healing and a real single target. Like I think that's gonna be what I try to expand to next week.
I think that seems fair.
On like lower ones and tyrannical, I mean, what if that extra 1,000 DPS is what gets the boss down?
Yeah. No.
I mean it
adds
will
up.
be.
Yeah. All right, I guess it's my turn then. All right. I tried not to have. I don't know, Zog. How did you coin it? A multi-days like weekend. You know, I tried not to do that this past weekend, where I just like, I went all over the place, like in terms of going up. But so
he said you had like split personality disorder.
It's what it felt like, right? Trying to go
just
all over.
Just make up your mind.
Yeah. So I do like the variety though. But okay, so this weekend, I've kind of whittled it down to 4 teams. Is like what I'm gonna go for, right? So the main one. I shouldn't say main. Druids and then Trinity Comp are kind of the 2 staples. Well, I will say they're fun at the same time. I know they have limitations in certain spots. So my other 2 teams are Paladin and 4 Shamans, which I kind of want to be like the main team. And the other one is the 5 times Prop Paladin. And that 5 times Prop Paladin, for some reason, is really strong from the get-go. And I think that's what we're talking about, is it's going to have some kind of skill, not skill cap, but like, it's going to hit a wall where you just don't have enough damage to take out targets, whereas the DPS will start excelling. But I hit them. They hit level 60, and I was able to already do mythics on them. I stepped in heroics, right, and then I did mythics. So I bought gear on them to kind of get them going. But they were able to do a mythic 2 in time, which was really impressive.
Yeah, that was literally my main team, and it's tons of fun to play.
Yeah.
And when I was telling you about it capping, that was in Legion and BFA, where sure we got different stuff at the end where we could push higher, but I didn't think about Covenant abilities. I think with the Covenant abilities, we might be able to go higher than what I originally thought.
Yeah.
Even with corruptions though, we still capped out. Like you'll remember like Twilight Devastation on the DKs. Like you still got them up to 10, but they didn't feel good like at the 6 to 7 range. Like tyrannical weeks felt awful.
Yes. Yeah, there was a lot of RNG going on there. So the RNG you can control a little bit more. I will say, so the 5 Prop Paladins, I've been playing with them a significant amount, whereas I got them all their legendary item, which makes their Hammer of Wrath do more damage, which primarily is a focus on for single target boss fights. And like the first boss in Halls of Atonement, I was able to drop the boss in Mythic before he got done with his first kind of like crazy beam thing or whatever. I don't know what you call that, but my DPS was high enough.
Shitload of damage.
Yeah, it was like so all the Prop Paladins basically were at like 2.5k DPS to 2.6, somewhere in there, right? It was like, but that's 5 of them though. Like it was a lot of damage. I was like, holy cow! And that was not blowing drums either for heroism.
That's like 100 level DPS times 5.
So yeah, so on a boss fight, as long as the boss fight ends in under a minute, you should be good on there. So the team is interesting. Now, you do when you're not blowing your cooldowns though, and you're facing a target with a lot of health, you're kind of just like sitting there. You're like, when is this going to end? Like you're not in danger of dying, but it takes a while. So the team is fun, and there is that side project of that team, which I'm hoping for, is to use them for PvP, for arenas or even like battlegrounds. They do have glaring weaknesses, especially if somebody can kite you, but they should be fun in that aspect. The other team is the Shamans, and yesterday I went and got the Shaman Epic or Legendary that I've been really wanting to get, which is the single target one. I'm trying to make them work. I'm concerned about their DPS, but when I look at it realistically, their DPS is actually pretty good. When I compare it, I keep comparing it to like what a Druid does as DPS on Convoke.
Compare it to Convoke.
And Convoke is just like this like small little blip, because I did a Torghast today, and as soon as Convoke ends, like their DPS looks really bad. It's bad at single target. So Shamans are actually kind of the team that I'm hoping to make happen. But on all this, I mean that's 4 comps. I think I need to stop at 4 and not go anymore. I'd love to play the Priest that Zoc's playing. as well as a fun comp. And I think that's maybe another topic for like the next podcast or whatnot. But I'd love to focus on what's fun. Obviously, it won't maybe get you the highest mythic keys or whatnot. But at the end of the day, like you're doing this for enjoyment, hopefully, or entertainment, and we want to keep you playing as long as possible. So if you burn out, it's not a good thing.
I'm definitely going to do the Pally Trinity Druids, but I would really love to play Pally 4 Shaman because of how much we used to all play it.
Yeah.
In Wrath of the Lich King. But I might not even get to a 4th crew, maybe. So
it's a lot. It spreads you thin. Even with the mechanics going on in terms of like you don't have to do a lot each week, but it still dwells on you like, oh, I should do this and this and this.
Yeah, so. I might cut the Druids if I'm being honest. I'll probably do Trinity and 5 Pal.
Yeah, seems fair. But trying to keep it all in concise thing, I think that's what's going on. So I'm focusing on the Shamans and the Paladins at the moment. Even though I know the Druids and Trinity are really strong, this is what's fun. So, all right, Zach.
Yeah. So I had a bit of a multi-days weekend myself. So I actually I wasn't I kind of got burned out on the Priest a little bit. As I talked earlier, like it's a high burnout comp where it's like really fun to play, but it's also like really challenging, which makes it fun, but also makes it like gut wrenching. And then you got like, and I'm just not able to push it like as far as I would be able to with other comps because it's just not as easy. So I'm kind of putting them on the back burner a little bit. But I think I did 4 mythic dungeons, and I didn't do all of the I didn't do the entire dungeons. I was kind of just pot shotting gear. I don't think I've actually done, I think I've done like 1 heroic dungeon on them, but for the most part, like I just jumped into mythics and was just like doing bosses here and there. And then with like the mythic plus cash and some other, I was able to get like some all right gear. So like they're 170 now, and like, holy cow, that power difference between like 160 and 170, like the power curve is just huge. So it's one of those things, like it feels better now and I'm having fun with them. So I think I might do an Around the World, which is where you do every mythic 0. And I might try to do 1 dungeon on Tyrannical, but my keys aren't very good this week. I released a video actually like this morning or last night talking about the comp. It's on dualboxing.com. But otherwise, I've leveled a team of Shamans. I think I did a Brewmaster and 4 Shamans. And then I'm on the side also leveling 4 Hunters and a Shaman. And the Shaman on my Hunter team is on my tank account. So the idea is that having both of those teams at 60 will naturally give me a Trinity comp. And I can kind of have some other things to play kind of on the sidelines as well. But then I've got like some other projects. Like I had started playing Paladin and DKs, but the leveling on that just didn't feel good. So I kind of quit around level 30. And then I had started some Druids as well. But I've just never been a huge fan of Druids. And you guys not really liking Druids at max level doesn't entice me to play it at all.
Oh no, you're getting it wrong. I love my Druids.
They're amazing, yeah.
But they definitely have some limits. Like, I don't see going higher keys.
Yeah. And they're really associated with farming too. And I don't know. It's if you think of multiboxing, you think of Druids as well. And there's nothing wrong with them, right? Like, I think I've been able to play them efficiently. But I played them also a lot last expansion too, so I'm trying something different. But yeah,
I hated them in BFA, so I don't know why I would enjoy them now.
Yeah, they start. I think one of the big issues though.
Invoke is just something you have to experience.
I know. I literally named my Druids Invoke.
Yeah. You did. You named your Druids Invoke. So one of the ones you were playing though that you're starting off though, which was a really strong comp in Legion, which is the Shaman and 4 Hunters, and that's also a comp too that's really fun in terms of. It's relaxing. It's low stress because you're not actually playing a tank at the same time. You're able to basically play from the healer and survey the battlefield. And that comp, you can do the mechanics the easiest on, in terms of dodging.
Yeah, things. It's gonna. I mean, it's gonna end up being Trinity, right? Like I'm gonna end up using 3 of those hunters, and I'm gonna use, just 3 of those hunters, and then I'm gonna use the Brewmaster and the Shaman, one of the Shamans from the other team.
You never know though if those pets can actually tank. I mean that's a really strong comp.
I had hunter tanking the other side last boss last night on accident, and then I actually tried to make them tank it for fun because it was easy to let them die in this resin. So one of the things I was wondering, if you go the Shaman 4 hunters, you're kind of stuck questing because you won't be able to queue and get the bonus experience from doing Dungeon Finder.
Yeah, but like Daze said, it's just been serene and just like slowly just going through it. I mean, both these teams are at 50 now, so I actually hit 50 on them today. So like in a week, I leveled 2 teams to 50, and like not proud of how much that time took. But like it's just been like chill and fun.
Yeah,
so.
it felt easy though, right? Like I guess like you've already experienced it. Then that comp, you just like send the pets in, do DPS. Like you don't really worry where the positioning is or the boss or the mobs.
I remember people were blowing stuff up with that comp back in the day.
So the one thing
I don't think it'll be good this patch. I think, but maybe later in the expansion. People were doing it in BFA too, though. People were running 5 hunters.
Yeah, or a shaman in there that did. Yeah. So the thing though that they've definitely fixed in this expansion that they didn't do in other ones is if you didn't have that spec, like so if you didn't have a tank, the tank mechanics would not go off, and that was super awesome. And this expansion, they fixed it where if there is no tank, then the mechanic just goes on somebody else.
Yeah, I don't even want to know what patty cake's going to turn into, right? Like,
it's just
not going to interrupt, is it? Like, is there an interrupt pet?
You can do a stun, but at the same time, I mean, it's just going to do a lot of damage to the pet. But yeah, they get
the stun actually going to work though?
It's called intimidation. It's on a minute cooldown.
If patty cake goes off on a pet, it's not going to be a big deal.
Yeah, you just hits the pet.
I guess. I'm just saying
it only disorients the tank, right? So
yeah,
if the other hunter pets all have taunt turned on, you should be fine.
Well, it's actually super annoying that they turn off pet taunt and when you like enter instances. I kind of wish they would fix that. Like you should just have control over it. And I know why they changed it. And
there's so many bads that would leave it on.
I know I'm in the minority here of people that want that left on, but like just allow me to manage it myself. Don't make me re-toggle it back on every time I zone in.
Well, that was one of the advantages though. Which I'm not sure how you'd get around that piece, but an interesting thing is you'd basically just rotate taunts on your pets. So they would each take a little bit of damage, and you could keep them all alive because the shaman is amazing. You basically heal as target of target heal. So whatever the
chain heal target,
and it dings around all of them. Yeah, all of them just go ding ding ding, and they all get full health, and it's like a little pinball machine. It's great.
Yeah, I don't know how far that will scale because tank damage right now is insane, and by tank damage I mean the damage that tanks are taking.
Agreed. So you're the only one of the three of us I think that has a level 60 demon hunter right now. I think we're both talking about spinning one up, and you'll probably be the first one with the brewmaster as well, because I've been toying with the idea of using one of my guardian druids instead of my paladin with my hunters just to mess around, or a brewmaster. And then I was curious to see with like the shaman comp, is the actual better play demon hunter for pallies demon hunter for shamans instead of pally for shamans.
I think so. I think the 5% damage is like worth it. And I originally was like, oh, like that's just stupid min max. Why would you min max to that point? Like we're multi-boxing, we're already not efficient. But like, no, I think it's actually worth it if you don't mind playing demon hunter. Now, if you can't play demon hunter, if like you don't enjoy demon hunter, then don't do it. But like, if everybody's averaging 2,000 DPS, which isn't much DPS, that's like 400 DPS for your group. That's just like free DPS. So like, why wouldn't you do that? But also like you have this ability that you can just like leap around. So like kiting is like a non-issue, and they do quite a bit of AoE damage. So yeah, they don't have like freedom or bop or some of the other cooldowns that paladin tanks have, but they're in a pretty good place right now, and they're kind of a ton of fun.
If you're good at kiting too, like naturally, like if you've already played one previously, I think it's a lot better. Like I never played a demon hunter outside of multi-boxing, so I don't take advantage of the whole like use infernal strike to jump super far away. I just have it as part of my rotation or a cast on myself. So one annoying thing about like the priest demon hunter comp is that like I don't have any passive healing. So like with the druids, you can just cast regrowth or cast rejuve, and there's just passive healing on your tank. With the shamans, you've got an earth shield. With priests, you have like power word shield, which isn't super strong, and you've got shadow men. So like if my tank takes a huge burst of damage, I just have to peace out, or else my tank's gonna die.
and it's not like conducive to me to sit there and spamming heals on my tank. Like that's just not.
Did you try Disc or Holy on one of the 4?
I haven't tried it yet. I don't think Disc would work that well. But I also haven't played Shadowlands Disc yet. I think Holy could be really good. I'm actually like pretty convinced that I might have to go Trinity on the priest team.
So I've messed with a lot with both Holy and Disc, and I can tell you Disc works at low level, but at high level, I got it working where I can roll shields on everybody in DPS, but I'm literally playing like DDR with my fingers, trying to keep the shields going, and I start dying to mechanics or shields. It's like shield die. Whereas Holy, you can do something similar, but you still have a lot more passive healing. So I think Holy is definitely the play.
So I played Disc in BFA to like plus 10 solo. I didn't play it super high. Like I never really pushed with it. But my impression was that it's really good for raid healing, and it's super fun. But it doesn't really work out that well in dungeons because like the healing that you do is based off like your ability to DPS. And if you can't DPS, then you're not healing. And so it doesn't play that well for us.
I can tell you the mythics that I ran with players on my pally the first week, every time there was a Disc Priest in the group, I felt like I was doing most of the healing as the tank. I was like Ward of Glorying the DPS that were standing in mechanics. Because I'm like, this priest is never going to heal him in time.
Yeah, I mean that's the problem, right? And it's a lot of setup, and like that kind of play style is fun, and if you're good at it, it can be good. But in multi-boxing, it just doesn't play out well.
Makes sense. I was just curious to see if you're like committed to making the priest work, because I know you have that demon hunter, so it makes it so you can jump off to other casters, and I know you're gonna have the brewmaster, so it lets you maybe try ferals as well as hunters. Like you can maybe get that mixed melee going.
You're doing so many off-meta specs.
Yeah, you're gonna have the 2 tanks that opens up the most mixed class specs. Whereas we're just like, no, I'm just playing paladin because like it's paladin.
Yeah, I mean that's I guess the brewmaster was kind of a happy mistake. The demon hunter also kind of was too. I didn't actually pick it because the 5% damage. I picked it because I wanted to play a demon hunter. Like I had never played it, and the world first race had like just started, and they were good. So I was like, sure, I'll do this. I've never done it.
I've got a lot of demon hunters on my other Battle.net account. They're tons of fun to even multi-box, and their tanking style's not bad. But like monks, I like their healing, but I cannot stand a monk's tanking style, so I might not even ever level my monk. He's sitting at 50. He might stay there through all the expansion.
It's changed quite a bit, and I didn't like it in BFA for a while, but it feels better, like kind of once you get more into it.
I hated stacking that stuff up, drinking a brew to then like remove damage. And all that. It was just stupid.
Yeah, I think they got rid of some of that like clunkiness, but I don't know. I mean, I guess we'll see and find out. I'm leveling it because I don't have it, so I want to level all the tanks. And Paladin's not strong right now. I play Paladin solo, and like I literally mained a Paladin so I could tank and heal dungeons, and I hate tanking on my Paladin right now, so I didn't want to box it.
Yeah,
I'm having tons of fun with Paladin. What about you, Daze? Are you going to get a Demon Hunter, you think? Because I feel like your Shamans with a Demon Hunter might be pretty sweet.
Yeah, I would really like that. But I did switch my Shaman comp to Venthyr to try them out, and the Paladin is as for DPS is okay on that one. But I do have an issue where 3 out of my 4 comps have a Paladin tank as the main thing. It feels like too much Paladin. I literally have 3 level 60 Paladins on one account. It feels very wasteful.
I saw that when you logged in one time, and I was like, holy shit.
I was like, why am I doing that? Yeah, it just feels, and especially now that they're all Venthyr too. So I'm really missing out on something there. I don't know what it is, but
yeah, you should just cross pollinate your teams and pick different covenants or something.
Yeah, well they were, but I'm kind of like they're all like converging on this Venthyr, even though the Venthyr is not really that.
You actually
great.
might be pulling me over, so I'm still running Kyrian on my Trinity, and so I kept my Pally as Kyrian, and then he's playing with the 4 female Paladins that are Venthyr, and I'm doing more damage, obviously because I'm a higher level, and I'm getting crazy amounts of shields because of my build, but I might be there with, you do the whole door thing through the boss and then drop the thing.
For Torghast, yeah. It's just for Torghast is the door thing, yeah. For regular stuff, it doesn't do anything.
Yeah,
but it is cool, though. It is interesting. Yeah, I'm just trying to find a use for it because the Door of Shadows really isn't used too much, and then the other Covenant, the Night Fae one is used in town, but not like in actual combat. The Kyrian one is amazing for having the health pot on
So
tap.
you can use the health pot to dispel necrotic.
Yep.
Yeah,
That's why it's great.
it's pretty nice too. And then even the Necrolord one, the Fleshcraft, is still really good for us. Anytime you can even just add extra health essentially like that every 2 minutes, it's really nice.
I just like it for the health pot on the Trinity. It gives me that extra healing for oh shit moments. It's an extra button.
Yeah.
But I took my Pallies and I pulled all of the first. You know how when you go into Halls of Atonement, the first boss, you gotta go do the 2 blood guys. I just grabbed everything and got to the last blood guy and bubbled and then popped all the Venthyr stuff and it all died.
Oh, that's a good idea. I didn't think about doing that.
I literally pulled one to the other and just dropped everything and like everything was dead.
I don't know if that ability may not be target capped, or it may have like a really high target cap to it then.
Oh, that'd be so bad if they target capped it.
Yeah. That's an issue though that's happening for solo players that they're really upset about, is they're really strong classes at the moment, like Balance Druid and I want to say Fire Mage maybe. I don't have target caps on them or something.
That's why they're strong right now.
Yeah, and on Holy DK, so people are really upset in Mythic Plus, as well as even sort of in raids, that these certain classes have shined because they've target capped other classes. They like kind of neutered them in the process. So
yeah, everybody's like 5 capped except for like 3 or 4 abilities.
Yeah. So they got to make they got to change something there, obviously, to kind of make that fair, because it obviously is not fair if somebody has, I can hit unlimited targets and the person's like, I can't.
Don't like the target cap change. I thought that was dumb.
I think they're gonna roll it back. I don't see any other way.
No,
or they're gonna tutor everyone else.
Yeah, the whole change for it was to cause Mythic Plus to be not pull as big of a pack as you can and then blow it up and then go to the next one. But they're still doing that anyways.
Yeah, it's so much more interesting. It's like, hey, they found this way to like accomplish this, and do some cool stuff. And also, by the way, this requires like a ton of skill to pull off. Like everybody in your group needs to be super coordinated, and you need to like really know what you're doing. But yeah, let's just ruin that.
As the EverQuest player of the stream, old said, AoE groups were some of the best EverQuests in my life. So let's do that.
Oh my gosh, they were so fun. Yeah, it was basically the same thing. Pull a big thing, have an enchanter that AoE stuns, and just go to town. But yeah, they actually had that in a bunch of games too. If you guys remember, like real quick, I know we're over on time here. Dark Ages of Camelot. Did anyone ever play that?
Nope.
No, okay. It had the same kind of style where basically the same thing in EverQuest, where you pull a bunch of stuff. There was a specific class that could AoE stun, and you had other specific classes that could that were untarget capped, I guess you could say, that could do the same thing. Yeah, it's fun. It's enjoyable. Man,
I feel like you have to be super old to have played DAOC.
It came out after EQ.
It came out. I was just a purist back then. It was like, it's fine. You guys leave.
Yeah.
I'll still be here. You'll come back in about a month. It's like everybody's like, oh, the next EverQuest pillar, the next EverQuest pillar. Then WoW came out, and we're all like, yeah, it's the same story. And then we're all like, shit, our guild's gone.
Yeah, I actually, that's the last thing I'm going to mention here, is that when I was playing EverQuest when World of Warcraft came out, I'm sure a lot of people were, right? And I actually didn't jump on World of Warcraft for probably the first 3 months that it came out. Maybe not that long, maybe 2 months. But yeah, like everybody in EverQuest that like left, like it just dried up.
Yeah, I was stayed until 2006. So I think it was 1 year that I stayed. I was stubborn, but I was in like a world first pushing guild. And then when that guild broke up, and all my friends were over at WoW, that's what pulled me over. I like WoW way more than EverQuest, just for the record. Like, way more.
Yeah. It's fun. All right, so is that, I think we got through everybody there on that one. I know we could talk forever, which is a good thing, right? It's better to have dialogue than the opposite. But
I'm honestly at the point where when I'm playing and you're playing and I'm watching your stream and I'm typing and dying, I'm like, I'm just going to call him on Discord. Like,
yeah,
dude,
literally, that'd be easier.
Like,
yeah.
I'm typing to you, there's a delay, my shaman just died because I was trying to tell you what I was trying to say. And
yeah.
Like, I don't know, we should just jump in Discord.
It'll be easy. Yeah, we'll do some, what was that called? Like cross-pollination. We'll do that. That was the key phrase that Zaki used today. I'm trying to pick up on these high-level words.
Dude, it's just some stupid buzzword I use like all the time.
It sounds good though, right?
You gotta say synergy, synergize.
Yeah, it really synergizes, yeah.
You gotta cross-pollinate and synergize your network.
Yeah, I work with data all day, like.
It's
All
like
right.
fourth normal form of this comp.
You had to use the cloud in there too. The word cloud has to come in there at some point.
Don't forget DevOps.
Wait, no, hold on. No, there's one more I'm thinking of it. What's it called? The new way to do projects. Actually, it's been agility. No,
Agile.
Agile.
Man. I could rant on the agile topic for hours.
Yeah, we should rant on that.
Has that fallen out of form now?
I'm very against agile. Not to derail from other nerd stuff, but let's talk more nerd
we should
stuff.
have this conversation on the side. I would love to talk to you about how much.
I ran a 100-man engineering team, right? And like agile's good from concept, and I respect why it was made, but it's been over commercialized. So now people are like doing I'm more agile than you, and they're more caught up in being agile than like doing their job. It drives me insane.
It's so accurate. As a former certified Scrum Master, I completely agree with you.
It's like, oh, are you doing Kanban? Are you doing daily stand-ups? Like, I don't care. Is it safe, repeatable? Can we iterate on it? Like, even some of the guys that were part of the Agile Manifesto are denouncing it. Like, it got over-commercialized. There's Agile consultants. Like, I make a ton of money teaching people how to do DevOps. And, like, I'll use the word Agile. I'm like, look, I'm going to throw this word out here, and I'm by no means telling you need to do it, because it's such an opinionated word, but I'm telling you, at the end of the day, we're going to figure out what your culture is and make it work for you. The end. End rant, sorry.
No, it's good. It's good. I like hearing that kind of stuff, too. All right, so with that, we tapped on quite a bit tonight. So we'll have some more fun stuff next time. But that's episode 9. It was good.
It's not bad for the meanderings of dungeon trolls.
Yeah.
This is the longest I think I've had my light on in 2 months.
Yeah, I watched one stream. He just looks like a freaking goblin hiding in the dark.
It's good for the eyes.
It drives me nuts. I got 2 lights showing up and stuff. I'm trying to get my camera to not suck.
No, it looks good though. I'm interested to see what it looks like. I've been looking at I'm spending way too much time trying to figure out how to do a streamer setup and hide the baldness. So we'll see what happens.
Just wear a hat.
I could wear a hat.
That's where I was.
Hats button and buy a hat.
All right, guys. We'll call it there. I'm hitting
it. Later, man. Thank you,
guys.